All righty, what's going on, guys? How you doing? How you doing? Good to see your smiling faces one other day. Thank you for being here. On today's video, I wanted to show you a quick breakdown of the trades I took today, and probably the mistakes as well that I made today because I actually took two positions first, and stupidly I ended up cutting losses, thinking that I was going to get stopped out, and no, I wasn't. The stop loss actually was never hit in this position here. So just to let you know, I mainly trade S&P 500, Nasdaq, and S&P 500, especially Nasdaq. I said S&P 500 first, but it's because today I actually entered on S&P. It's been a while. I normally use S&P 500 to spot divergence. Okay, I use this too, Nasdaq and S&P. These are two correlated indices. So if you're watching this for the first time, these are two correlated indices. What does that mean? It means they move similarly the same. So if Nasdaq is going down, S&P also should go down. However, there's sometimes when there is a what I like to call a crack in the matrix. So we notice that Nasdaq will do a move, and S&P is not doing the same move. I'll explain what I mean in a second. But it's basically what's called a smart money technique or SMT divergence. I'm sure probably you have heard of this. You can also find divergence using indicators like RSI. I don't use indicators. I just when it comes to trading indices, and ICT concepts, I don't trade. I don't use indicators, other than probably just the session indicator right there, just to show, right? Other than that, this was the trade I took. I'm actually gonna go ahead and bring right quick here. We're still strongly bearish. We're still strongly bearish, and let me go to here. Pretty much, we have CPI today. Okay, this is a very important day, right? A very big important report that comes out, and this is when it came out. Okay, at 8:30, we actually had the news coming out, and for some reason I marked up here H4, but this was not actually a fair value gap on a 4 hour. This was actually a daily. I made a mistake right there. So it was a daily fair value gap that we were entering. This right here that I marked up H4 on the picture. Well, this is actually the daily. Let's go here from the daily so you can see. Right, this is yesterday's candle. This is today's candle. So this imbalance right here, I was thinking that, hey, because we are so strongly bearish, right? And there is still a lot of fear. Look, we actually just recovered a little bit today because we were like between 15 to 17 in this scale right here, in this fear scale. So because I'm seeing this, I really don't want to buy. Right now, I am not into buying. I'm into more into selling because of the fear in the markets with everything with the tariffs. Nowadays, that's affecting a lot. So if you're looking to buy, you're most likely going to get screwed. Trying to buy, if you have a buy setup, you're most likely going to get screwed because of the fear. People is not just buying just yet, and sometimes the markets, the conditions gets very very nasty. So, anyways, going into the morning, right here, this is New York session. Right? This is London, right? We're in London session. I noticed a little accumulation here during Asian session in London. So I'm like, okay, I like this relative equal low right here. When I see relative equal lows, double bottoms, double tops, I love that. That's liquidity. So I'm using that as my target because I'm bearish. I want to sell. I'm looking to target these lows. The same is happening on S&P. Notice that we do have relative equal lows also right here at the bottom. So I truly don't want to buy. My intention is actually to sell. So I'm paying attention to this daily fair value gap right here at the top. We have this liquidity point. So New York session just opened right here, opening, right? That gray zone right there, that's the New York session. This is the indicator, by the way. It's called time zone. I use it to let my students know that I'm actually only looking for entries within my session. Okay, I don't trade other session. So New York session opens, and I'm waiting for the CPI. Right, I'm not making any sales or buys right now because I want to wait for the CPI. Is very important. CPI reports happen once every month, every second week of every month. So you see right here at 8:30. So um, exploded to the upside. However, notice that candle, right? We left a big wick to the upside. I went to the 5 minute and I was watching in this area between the 5 minute and the 1 minute. And I was using S&P 500 as my helper, little helper right here. So if I wanted to see SMT, some sort of divergence at the top and a change in the state so that I can sell. I could probably be looking for sales. So if I get a candle closing below that low, that would be my change in the state of delivery to the downside. So at this point, price was struggling a little bit here. I noticed that, look at this, S&P 500 already took this high. Notice that Nasdaq is not taking this high yet, right? It's not taking that high. Then all of a sudden, we start to have momentum, a little momentum to the downside, right? We're starting to build right there, a little fair value gap. I was actually taking the first entry today. I was hopping in somewhere here. I was taking my first position somewhere there. I was placing my stop above this high, and I was targeting around down here, and probably eventually, if it would continue dropping, probably here. So what happened? Well, this is what happened. Price was going a little bit in my direction, and then all of a sudden, what time was this? Okay, so stock exchange is about to open, which is at 9:30, and we start pushing up right here. And I'm like, damn it, right about there. I was actually cutting losses. I closed the position. Let me just show you here my records for the day. So I actually took two losses right there. These two losses, stupid, silly losses, I would have probably end up winning them for sure, right? Because my stop loss never got hit. It's just that because I saw so much volume coming into, I was thinking that I was probably going to get stopped out, right? The price was going to just manipulate the high and maybe drop later, So I kept watching all the time, also S&P, and I noticed again, so that we're having another divergence. So price is not on Nasdaq is actually taking that high, right? And S&P is failing to take this highs right here, right? So it's telling me that S&P is a lot weaker. It's the weaker pair right here. Nasdaq is trying to go higher. It's actually the strongest pair so far today. So probably in between these two, if you want to sell, you can sell both. But if you want to sell or to know which pair is going to reach the target quicker, it's probably going to be the weaker pair. If you're looking to sell, if you're looking to buy, well, it's a different story. But because which of these two pairs right now is the weaker? S&P, because S&P is failing to create new highs. Nasdaq is actually creating a new high. I mean, from this little internal structure, right? It has not swept that external right there yet, right? So, anyways, when I saw that, as I mentioned, I caught losses. Right? I closed that position, and then I believe it was somewhere here. I was entering already on S&P. I took the shot on S&P. I was actually live on Zoom with my students, and I decided to take the entry on S&P aggressively. When this candle was closing below, we had a change in the state. But as this candle was still open, a couple of seconds before it closed, I was already hopping into the sell, placed my stop loss above the high, and I was just targeting this relative equal lows. Notice that that Nasdaq is trying to follow, but it is a lot slower, right? It's not displacing as quick as S&P right now, right? So as I was seeing here, boom, right there, I took another position. I entered again, right here. Place the stop, targeting, closing in. So I made a second entry. Look at this. This is what I mean. I made that second entry right there, trying to sell. I had this. I was concerned about this 5-minute fair value gap that's been struggling so hard to break. So it was my concern because I was thinking that would bounce off right here and just push up, from this bullish fair value gap. So notice what happened. This is probably my mistake right here. I don't know if I want to call it mistake or I just chicken out. Probably I just chicken out. Is because of the pattern of what happened. Notice that rejection already. That pin bar right there in this fair value gap after taking this liquidity. I'm already thinking, shit, this is actually respecting this fair value gap, and we're probably going to have that push to the upside. So it's making me think we're going to reverse. So I'm waiting for the next candle, and I'm kind of hoping we could displace already, start showing some momentum to the downside. But no, next candle, boom! Look at that candle. That candle right there. It's like a confirmation for me saying in my brain, get the hell out of this trade because we're most likely going to get stopped up. So guess what? Price pushed up again, and with that candle, I was like so pissed. I was so pissed right here because, it just told me, shit, we are respecting this fair value gap right here. And it's pretty obvious. Look at the manipulation. We're still holding. We never closed below 50% consequent encroachment of this imbalance. So, damn, we could have the next candle to push up. And it closed with a lot of momentum right there. So I closed again, second time. Boom. That was my second losses of the day. Boom, boom. I'm already out of those two positions. What happens next? As soon as I close, this happens. That candle's right there. It's a beautiful bearish engulfing candle. So what happened? Well, price basically, all it did was just a little pullback, right? If I use my Fibonacci from the high to the low, right? After this impulse, confirm the change in the state, price pulled back to my breaker, respected the breaker, and boom, when I saw that engulfing right there, I was like, fuck, man, I am going in again. I have to. It's stupid that I've been trying to sell, and now this is my third shot on Nasdaq. I was already in on S&P, so I was already securing profits and moving my stops. This trade already was on break even, but I was just struggling so much with Nasdaq. I was not, I just kept cutting losses, because of the moves. It was scaring me out, So when I saw that bearish engulfing, I like, I see it. Yeah, I see what's happening. It's a very simple. You can see price is creating. Here it creates a high. I want to show you something here. Let's hide the weeks for a second. This is what I did to my students here. Let's hide the actual weeks. Look at this. If you hide the weeks and you look at the structure, see price creates a high, low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low. Changing the state, price pulls back, respects, and right here, you see this is a change in the state of delivery that we're having on a daily fair value gap, bearish fair value gap. We have manipulated, right? We swept liquidity here. So, and we having this change in the state of delivery, beautiful form right here. Come on, that is a very clear sell. It's just the weeks. When you open the weeks right here, it's where it gets tricky, where it gets a little confusing. But the weeks do the damage, and the bodies tell the story. Okay, this is what I learned from ICT. So, anyways. Right there, I'm hopping in again into the sell because I'm more convinced that price will go low. So yeah, well, price did go lower. Right about there, I was able to secure profits twice. I moved my stops to break even, and then later on, price actually pulled back and got me out of break even. So, in overall, notice S&P 500 hit TP really nice and very quick right there. Nice with this one, but Nasdaq, oh boy. It just struggled. I know, again, probably that's a mistake of mine. I should have held. I should have trusted myself. I should let this thing just hit my stop loss, But most of the times, I happen to realize sooner when I'm wrong, and I close. the positions. So and I end up cutting losses most of my times. Most of the times when it comes to ICT. So I ended up cutting losses twice. I won the next one. So, anyways, that was my pretty much my day. How I closed the day. This been with this week, pretty much just $540. I did not trade yesterday, so I wanted to show you this. I'm still expecting price to take this liquidity. So, I mean, what you can see here, I'm just going to clean this thing here now, is that we are in a little accumulation here now. Little triangle here. So depending on what's going to happen tonight, I mean, we are creating, this is a high, 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 right? We did not take this low. We did not, right? At this point, we're still within this range. I want to see what's going to happen right in here tonight. Because I think we're still going to fail. We're gonna drop. Notice that S&P actually went deep enough in this double bottom right here on Nasdaq. You see that Nasdaq did not sweep this double bottom, but S&P did. So we have a huge divergence at the bottom. Big divergence. So I want to see what's going to happen now here between and tonight. I want to see what's going to happen tonight in this range right here. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I hope it makes sense. I hope you guys understood. I hope you guys now you see what my mistake was. And sometimes it's just about trusting, trusting. And if you place that stop loss there, it's there for a reason. So leave it in there, just trust. And don't over risk. I was not over risking. I was just literally risking like $160 per trade or something like that. So I should have just either accepted that if it's a loss, it's a loss, But because I was seeing that behavior, I was like, damn it, this is just going to run through my stop loss. So should I hold? Should I trust? Should I, you know what I mean? So that's normally the issues that we have as human, trading. So a lot of traders experience this type of stuff, and I thought I would be able to share this to you as well. So you guys are not the only ones having this problem. So hope it makes sense. Thank you for watching. Give it a big thumbs up. It motivates me to keep posting content here for you guys on my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.